Imagine you hold the key to complete freedom, a life where no one else's opinions control you. Where you don't fear rejection. And where your inner peace is unshakable. But in the world around you, people are constantly trying to influence your decisions, distract you, and pull you away from your true path. How would you handle that pressure? This is the wisdom that Buddhism offers, a path to rise above external noise and unlock your full potential by focusing solely on yourself. Today, we'll explore 10 powerful Buddhist lessons that will help you let go of others' opinions and take full control of your life. 1. Stop relying on others for your happiness. As the Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within, do not seek it without." This means that true happiness does not come from the approval or actions of others, it comes from within ourselves. When we depend on others for our happiness, whether through their approval or praise, we give them control over our emotions. This often leads to disappointment, because no one can make us happy all the time. Buddhism teaches us to find peace and contentment within ourselves, focusing on being comfortable with who we are, finding joy in the present moment, and practicing gratitude for what we have. 2. Don't fear being alone, it's where you find true power. The Buddha taught, meditate, live purely, be quiet, do your work with mastery. This reminds us that solitude is not something to fear, but rather a place of strength. When we spend time alone, we gain the space to truly understand ourselves, reflect on our thoughts, and grow emotionally and spiritually. Solitude allows us to meditate and focus on personal growth without distractions. Instead of relying on others for validation or comfort, we learn to be our own best companion. By embracing solitude, we discover the inner power and wisdom that help us navigate life with confidence and clarity. 3. Quit seeking approval from everyone. As the Buddha said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. This teaches us that the approval we truly need is our own, not anyone else's. Constantly seeking validation from others, whether through compliments, praise, or acceptance, leads us to lose sight of our own worth. Buddhism encourages us to practice self-acceptance, recognizing that real confidence and happiness come from within. When you approve of yourself, you depend less on others for validation, which frees you from unnecessary stress and disappointment. 4. Don't let rejection break you. Rejection is a natural part of life, but it does not define your worth. It's easy to feel discouraged when faced with rejection, but Buddhism teaches us to see it as an opportunity for growth and redirection. Rejection is simply life's way of steering us towards something better. The Buddha said, in the end, only 3 things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. By learning to let go with grace, we can find peace and trust that rejection is just a stepping stone on our journey. 5. Stop fearing what others think of you. One of the biggest sources of anxiety is worrying about what others think of us. We often let the opinions of others shape our actions and feelings. But Buddhism teaches us that other people's judgments are more about them than about us. The only thing that truly matters is how we see ourselves and our actions. As the Buddha said, let none find fault with others. Let none see the misdeeds and omissions of others, but let one see one's own acts done and undone. This reminds us to focus on our own journey and stop worrying about what others think. 6. Stop sacrificing your peace to please others. Many of us try to please everyone around us, at work, with friends, or even in our families. We often bend over backward to make others happy, but this can come at the cost of our own peace and well-being. The Buddha wisely taught, Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. This reminds us that peace of mind is far more valuable than trying to meet everyone's expectations. Buddhism encourages us to act with compassion and kindness, but not at the expense of our inner peace. When we prioritize our peace, we live more authentically and give from a place of strength rather than sacrifice. 7. Focus on what you can control, yourself. In life, we often get frustrated trying to control things outside of our control, such as how others behave or how situations unfold. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is that clinging to things beyond our control causes suffering. The truth is, we can only control our own actions, thoughts, and reactions. As the Buddha said, "Rule your mind or it will rule you." By mastering our own thoughts and emotions, we gain control over our lives. We stop wasting energy on things beyond our control and start focusing on how we can improve ourselves and maintain inner peace. 8. Realize that people are focused on their own lives. We often assume that others are constantly watching and judging us. But the reality is that most people are focused on their own lives. They have their own struggles, goals, and dreams. This realization is incredibly freeing. When we stop worrying about what others think of us, we can redirect that energy into discovering our own path and living it fully. By focusing on our own growth and authenticity, we no longer feel the pressure of others' expectations and can pursue our passions with greater freedom. 9. Don't get caught up in social comparison. Comparing ourselves to others, whether it's our appearance, career, or success, leads to envy, inadequacy, and frustration. Buddhism teaches that comparison is a form of attachment that leads to suffering. When we constantly measure ourselves against others, we lose sight of our own path. The Buddha said, "Health is the greatest gift, contentment the greatest wealth, faithfulness the best relationship." True wealth isn't found in being better than others, it's found in contentment. By focusing on gratitude for what we have and who we are, we experience inner peace and avoid the trap of comparison. 10. Prioritize your inner growth over external validation. In today's world, we often seek external validation, approval from family, recognition from colleagues, or likes on social media. But Buddhism teaches that true fulfillment comes from within. When we constantly chase external validation, we move further away from our true selves. The Buddha said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." By focusing on inner growth, self-awareness, and mindfulness, we cultivate peace that no external validation can provide. When we measure success by our own values and personal development, we no longer rely on others for our sense of worth, and we become more resilient in facing life's challenges.